Hey Tubes, Jonathan was wrong here. Truth in the budget. So I was just thinking about something, and let's see if I could try to, translate it from brain thoughts to mouth words. But I was thinking about the differences in, the colors of light. How LED lights, white lights are so offensive, and golden lights, yellow lights are pleasant, soothing. They're the exact opposite. And it got me to thinking about the difference between the moonlight and the sunlight. The moonlight is chilling. The moonlight, moonlight desiccates, causes things to rot. Things rot under moonlight. It's a negative energy. Moonlight is a negative energy, opposed to a positive energy. Now, am I saying it's bad? No, it's the counterbalance to positive energy. It's cold and it's white. Now, think about, back to negative energy. Think about how you feel when you're like horrified, when you're like the utmost feelings of terror, or like you have a thought that is just like a horrible realization. Those are negative energies, and you'll feel a coldness wash over you during those moments. People might say anger is a negative energy. No, it can be negative, but the energy produced through anger is positive. It's a hot energy. It's a warm energy. Anger is a defense mechanism. So is fear. These things keep us alive. Shock and horror is just a reaction. There's no benefit to it, I guess. not that I know of. But I was just thinking that it's interesting that the negative aspects are cold. LED lights, I always call them dead lights because of kind of like a reference to It, the original It, not that lame ass remake, the one with Tim Curry. But anyway, the don't look into the dead lights. You're not supposed to look into the lights of the entity of It. And it's what I think about with the LEDs, and it's kind of funny because those white lights of the LEDs are a negative. It's a negative light. It's a bad light. It's a light that makes us uncomfortable. It's unpleasing to the eyes. Makes you on edge. Makes you edgy. It's a negative energy, and we're putting these things up everywhere. Every car you see with the LED lights is a negative energy disputer. Every single one of them. Every street light that's an LED light, that's another negative energy disputer. And I think this is something that it's draining people's energy. It's making them edgy and uncomfortable and feeling on edge. Edgy. I think there's these all correlate with the all the LED lights everywhere, all the dead lights. It's not the soft, warm glow. Like fire, like the sun. Like think about how sunlight feels good. It feels like a hug. Feels nice. Well, like moonlight is just kind of strange. Like you're kind of enamored by it, but it's not, it's not like pleasant. It could be beautiful, but it's not like, it's not like getting big face full of sun and just, feeling like you got a good, nice warm hand against your cheek. And which brings me to think about how lately, within the past couple years or so, the sun's been more of a white color. It's been a whiter than, it's been less orange and more white. And I think that's interesting too, because the sun's been burning. You know, think about all the. I've seen plenty of things on the internet of people posting stuff that is melted from sunlight. You know, things that, you know, the sunlight didn't used to melt stuff everywhere. You know, it didn't used to be that the sun coming through your window and hitting your mirror didn't, you know, melt your melt your poster. You know, it didn't used to be like that, and now it is. Now we have a harmful burning sun that just doesn't feel as warm. It just doesn't have the same warmth. It's a wider light. So it's just interesting to me that the orange, the orange and the red, because you think about those colors too, and they're pleasant. They're pleasant colors. Then you think of the blue spectrum, and you think of death. Like all the blue, purple, white, all that spectrum. It's those are the colors of like rotting corpses. While the other side is the color of fruits in flushed cheeks, fire and sunlight. Just interesting to think about. I mean, does any of this mean anything? Maybe. I'm not going to say it. I've had some sort of major breakthrough. I just think it's kind of interesting. And I do think that these LED lights are sapping our energy. Even if like, I'm not saying that they're like absorbing it. I'm saying that they're blasting us with an adjutant, which is a constant adjutant, which will wear on you. It takes conscious energy to not be annoyed. People call that self-control. And self-control takes effort. If you're standing in line and the person in front of you is just really, really annoying, it takes effort to tell them not to shut the hell up, and it's stressful. And then after the situation, you feel exhausted from having to just tolerate that person. Now think about that on a minuscule level, on like a fine, on a minute level, constantly, and it's just you won't notice the constant drain. You won't notice the drain on your energy because it's so light, so slight, but it's constant. I'll think about going for a drive sometimes, and then it's literally 9 out of 10 cars are lighting me up with LEDs, and then I'm just not in the mood. I just don't. I don't have any energy for it anymore. It just makes me wonder. White light is bad. It's uncomfortable. No one likes it. Yet everyone is going to have these LED lights for the purpose of if everyone else has them, I'm going to have them too, because that's how people operate. People don't think, hey, let's stop effing each other. People think, oh, F me? Nobody, F you. No one stops, hey, thinks, let's just stop all the effing each other. Everyone's got to get even. But anyway, in summation, white light is negative light. It's creates negative energy, and I think all these LED street lights, those weird hookups that they have to them, I don't know if you've seen any of that stuff. I don't want to get too deep into it if you haven't, because if you don't know what I'm talking about, I sound like a crazy person, so I'm not going to bother with any of that. But yeah, man, I'm thinking that these LEDs everywhere that are blinding, Like it's not it doesn't help anyone see if everyone is blinded by the light. It's not a good light, you know? If someone tells you to turn on the overhead so they can read, and then you hit them with the lights so bright that they can't even open their eyes, it defeats its own purpose. It's not generating any useful light, and that's what I feel like these LEDs are doing. It's a lot of noise for nothing useful, because if it's wet, you can't see a darn thing. The ground is a disco floor. Anytime it rains or snows or whatever, these LED lights they light up the ground like a Euro disco. You can't see a darn thing. So what good are they? I think they're here to drain our energy. Just a thought. Love you guys so much. Have a beautiful night, day, morning, what have you. And God bless you.